All right, let's dive into The Company of Wolves.
Yeah, it's a film that, well, it really gets under your skin.
Definitely gets under your skin.
Yeah.
And it's not your typical werewolf movie, you know.
Oh, absolutely not. It's more like a visual poem, I'd say.
I like that, a visual poem. And it makes you think, doesn't it?
It really does. About those darker sides of, fairy tales and all that.
Those fairy tales we heard as kids.
Yeah.
But with this whole other layer.
Layers and layers. But before we get too deep, maybe we should set the stage a little.
Good point. So we're talking 1984, directed by Neil Jordan.
Neil Jordan, yeah, known for his dark, stylish films.
Exactly. And based on Angela Carter's short stories.
Ah, Angela Carter, a master of turning those classic tales on their head.
Especially with, a feminist twist.
Yeah, and that combination, Jordan and Carter, it's what makes this film so unique.
So unique. And then you have, of course, the story itself.
Which unfolds largely in the dreams of our main character, Rosaleen.
Played by Sarah Patterson, and she's amazing.
She really is. And this whole dream within a dream thing, it's brilliant.
It makes you question what's real and what's not.
Right. Like, are we in her dream? Are we in a story within the dream?
And that's perfect for a film about, transformation.
Transformation, exactly. And blurring those boundaries between, girlhood and womanhood.
And then you have, the grandmother. Can we talk about the grandmother?
Oh, absolutely. Angela Lansbury. Incredible.
Incredible. And she's both, wise, but also kind of unsettling.
Unsettling, yeah. Her stories, those little cautionary tales, they add this whole other layer.
It's like she's warning Rosaleen, but also it's like she's warning us, the viewers.
Right. Like, be careful, There are dangers out there, especially for women.
Especially for women. And that ties into those societal fears, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Fears about female sexuality, about women stepping out of line.
And then, of course, you have the werewolves.
Ah, yes. The werewolves, but they're not your typical monsters.
No, they're more like symbols, right?
Symbols, exactly. Of those primal instincts we all have.
Those things we try to hide, to repress.
But they're always there, lurking beneath the surface.
Like the wolf within, waiting to break free.
Exactly. And the transformations themselves, even now, they're still so effective.
The special effects, yeah, that blend of like the grotesque and the beautiful.
It's unsettling, but also kind of mesmerizing.
I know, right? You can't look away.
And it really captures that feeling of change, of something wild taking over.
And that ties into Rosaleen's journey, her coming of age.
Right. It's not just about becoming a woman. It's about embracing her power.
Even if that power is seen as, dangerous.
Dangerous, unconventional. And that's pure Angela Carter challenging those traditional narratives.
Instead of waiting for a prince, Rosaleen is, she's finding her own way.
Exactly. And it's not always pretty or easy.
No, it's messy, it's complicated, but it's hers.
And that's what makes it so powerful. And speaking of powerful, the visuals in this film.
Oh, the visuals. The colors, the lighting, it's all so deliberate.
It creates this atmosphere, like a dream you can't shake off.
Beautiful, but also, a little menacing.
Menacing, yeah. Like you're walking into like a dark fairy tale.
And that's what makes The Company of Wolves so captivating.
It's not just one thing. It's horror, it's coming of age, it's psychological.
It gets under your skin and makes you think.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
We've got so much more to unpack, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned. This is just the beginning. It's amazing how The Company of Wolves uses these everyday things, to represent these big ideas.
Right. Like it's not all just werewolves and forests. There's this whole other level with, like you said, everyday objects.
Yeah. Like take the comb, for example. There's a simple comb.
The comb. Yeah. You see it throughout the film.
It's more than just for grooming. It's like it becomes the symbol of trying to tame things.
Taming wildness.
Yeah.
Right. And especially, female wildness.
Exactly. Like those societal expectations on girls and women,
Be well-behaved, fit into this mold, be beautiful in this specific way.
And the comb, it's like this reminder, this constant pressure to be smooth and controlled.
And it's interesting, how often it appears when Rosaleen is being warned about men.
Oh, absolutely. It connects the comb to those expectations placed on women, especially around men.
Like a warning to control yourself, to not be too free, too expressive.
Right, exactly. Don't let those wild instincts out,
But then, that scene where Rosaleen throws the comb into the fire.
Such a powerful scene. Like she's just had enough.
It's like, boom, I'm done with these rules. I'm done with being controlled.
It's like she's literally burning those expectations, breaking free.
And that ties into, well, the whole theme of female agency in the film.
Yeah, it's not about conforming, it's about discovering and owning your power.
Your own power, even the parts that might make people uncomfortable.
Even the wild parts, the untamed parts, and that's powerful stuff.
And it's not just the comb. The film is filled with this surrealism.
Surrealism, oh yeah. The dreams, the shifting perspectives, it's all so disorienting.
Like you're falling down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But in the best way possible.
It makes you question everything. Reality, fantasy, it all blurs together.
And I think that allows the film to explore these really complex themes.
In a more intuitive way, a symbolic way.
Like it's speaking the language of dreams, where logic doesn't always apply.
It's not about giving you the answers, it's about making you feel it, you know?
And making you think and come to your own understanding.
Exactly. And that's part of the journey, right? Self-discovery isn't always neat and tidy.
It's messy. It's full of contradictions, like life itself.
And sometimes you have to get lost to find yourself.
And those dreamlike sequences, they really capture that feeling, don't they?
They do. And they also tap into these bigger questions about identity, desire, meaning.
It's not just a werewolf movie. It's about the human condition, the search for who we are.
And I think that's why these old stories, these fairy tales, they still resonate with us.
Yeah, they speak to something deep within us. Our fears, our hopes, our longings.
And they help us make sense of the world, even the dark parts.
Like they give us a framework for understanding those inner struggles.
The struggles we all face, yeah. Speaking of other films, this one, it reminds me of Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh, I see that. That blend of fantasy, horror, and coming of age.
They both create these visually stunning worlds, but with this undercurrent of danger.
Like you're drawn to the beauty, but you know something's lurking beneath the surface.
That fear of the unknown, but also the possibility, the magic.
And that imagination, it can be a powerful tool to face those tough truths.
Yeah, to explore those darker corners of ourselves, those shadows.
Like holding up a mirror to our own inner wolves.
And speaking of wolves, it's interesting to compare this film to those classic werewolf movies.
Right. We talked about the differences, but what about the similarities?
Well, I think both are fascinated by transformation, you know, whether it's physical or psychological.
Change, becoming something else, something new, sometimes something monstrous.
Yeah, and using the werewolf as a symbol, right, for those primal urges.
Those instincts, the wildness, the things we try to keep hidden.
It taps into that fear of losing control, that thin line between human and beast.
And that's why these stories continue to fascinate us, don't they?
They do. They hold up that mirror, make us confront our own darkness.
We're all capable of good and evil. It's about the choices we make.
That struggle, that's what's at the heart of these stories, both classic and, well, the company of wolves.
That's what makes them timeless, relatable.
And thought-provoking. They make us question our beliefs about ourselves, about humanity.
We could really go on and on about this film. There's so much to unpack.
There is. But for now, let's just sit with these ideas for a bit, see where they take us.
It's funny, you know, the more we talk about the company of wolves, the more I realize how it stays with you.
Oh, it definitely lingers, like a half-remembered dream.
Exactly. And it's both beautiful and unsettling at the same time.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's got this stunning visual style, those dreamlike sequences.
But there's always this undercurrent of darkness, you know?
Yeah.
Like something dangerous is lurking just beneath the surface.
Like you can't quite shake that feeling of unease.
And I think that's part of what makes it so compelling.
Compelling, yeah. It doesn't shy away from those darker aspects of human nature.
The impulses, the desires, the things we try to hide, even from ourselves.
It's like it's forcing us to look in the mirror, to confront our own inner wolves.
And that can be unsettling.
Unsettling, yeah, but also thought-provoking.
Because it makes you question, doesn't it? What it means to be human.
Those boundaries we try to draw between civilization and savagery.
And the choices we make, the paths we choose, it's all connected.
And it makes you think about those fairy tales we heard as kids.
Not just as whimsical stories, but as warnings.
Right, warnings, yeah. About the dangers out there, the darkness that's always present.
Both within ourselves and in the world around us.
And the company of wolves, it takes those classic tropes, those familiar stories.
And it twists them, turns them into something new, something unique.
It's not just a retelling, it's like a reimagining.
A way of exploring those themes, but through a darker, more disturbing lens.
Like it's peeling back the layers, revealing what's underneath.
And it doesn't give you easy answers, does it?
No, it doesn't. It leaves you with more questions than answers.
And this feeling of unease, Like you've seen something you weren't supposed to see.
But you can't look away.
You can't look away. And that's the power of this film, I think.
It stays with you. It makes you think. It challenges you.
So for those who haven't seen it, what would you say to encourage them?
I'd say go in with an open mind. Be prepared to be challenged, to be, well, a little disturbed.
Disturbed, yeah. And don't expect a typical werewolf movie.
It's so much more than that. It's about transformation, about facing those darker parts of ourselves.
And it's visually stunning. It's a work of art.
Absolutely. It'll stay with you. I can guarantee that.
And it rewards multiple viewings, Each time you watch it, you see something new.
Oh, absolutely. New layers, new meanings. It keeps unfolding.
And that's what makes it so special, I think. It invites you to participate, to make your own meaning.
It's like a conversation, it starts a dialogue.
And that's what great cinema should do, right? Make you think, make you feel, make you question.
Exactly. It's not just about entertainment. It's about engaging with those big questions.
Well said. So if you're looking for a film that will, challenge you, haunt you, and inspire you.
And The Company of Wolves is definitely worth your time.
It's a journey into the dark heart of fairy tales, a visual and psychological feast.
And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder its mysteries.
We hope this deep dive has given you a new appreciation for this complex and captivating film.
Until next time, happy viewing.